Yo, what's happening, my friends? I'm going to give you 5 steps to becoming what I call a micro-influencer, or better yet, a go-to authority inside of your niche, inside of your marketplace, and really being able to attract the perfect clients that you want to work with into your world. So I'm setting up this to make sure that it is live. So just say live if you're here with me, and I'd love to see your face. If you're watching this on the recording, just say the words replay. And if you're listening on the podcast, just say, just shoot me a message and let me know you're watching, as I'd love to see your face. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive on into 5 steps that I'm going to give you. These are more like principle-based steps to really stepping into becoming this micro-influencer, this micro-celebrity in your niche, really being seen as this person that can solve your perfect fit clients' problems. So this is probably going to go against the grain. I'm probably going to ruffle some feathers here, and I'm totally okay with that. My goal is that this actually helps you move forward in your business. And so the first thing that I want you to understand here, and in fact, I may see if I can draw this out for you right now. I may not be, so I'll just maybe talk through it. I don't think I have my thing hooked up. Is that most people, what they're doing right now, and pay close attention. If this is you, it is okay. You just want to make sure that you're aware of this and that you stop. Most people are marketing their messages right now via content, whatever it is, to a crowd, but they're doing it in a conventional way. It's like they're following the status quo. They're following the conventional way. And what's happening in this crowded marketplace is they are being ignored. Do you know, like, the average person on social media sees 3,000 or more messages in ads and all that stuff a day? So people that are following conventional ways, especially if you've been in a business program or you're following what other people are doing, it's like what's happening is you're becoming this commodity, and commodities go ignored. They go ignored, or people pay them, pennies for their stuff, right? And what we want to do is we want to shift up here, okay? And this is what I'm going to walk you through in just a second. We want to shift up here to standing in our character, standing in conviction for what it is that we do and for how it is that we help people. Okay, this is what's going to separate us. This is what's going to gain attention. So if right now you're going, or at least you feel if you're going unseen and ignored, what I'm going to show you right now, I'm going to show you how to gain attention and get yourself seen. Okay, if you're down for that, just let me know in the comment section below. Say #seen, and we're going to dive in. So the first step that you have to understand, and again, you have to build an audience. If you want to become a micro-influencer, you have to have an audience. And the problem is that most people, what they end up doing is they're chasing the follower, right? They're chasing the follow, they're chasing the like, they're chasing the heart. And I don't even like to use the word influencer really, because influencers this day and age, it's like people can easily pay some money to gain followers, right? It doesn't mean you're an influencer. An influencer is somebody that actually changes the perspectives in the beliefs of their audience for better, like, right, to move them into more of a transformation. So we gotta be careful with using the word influencer. But in order to do that, you have to build an audience. The first step to build an audience, and write this down, type this in the comments. If you're on the podcast, write this down, okay? The first step here is that you have to create a cult-like following, not chase the crowd. You've got to create a cult-like following, not chase the crowd. I call this super fans. In my world, we call this super fans. It's creating super fans. There's a big difference between getting followers or chasing followers and actually having people that are like, for example, imagine this is, I'm holding up, if you're listening to this, I'm holding up an Apple iPhone. Like, do you know that when Apple releases a product, it's like they have a line outside of their door, right? Or if you even think about think about a celebrity, right? Like, I know The Rock, anytime The Rock puts out a product, it's like sold out within seconds. Do you know what I mean? That is what I'm talking about here. Having a fan base that is like whatever you put out, they will buy. That's the main difference between somebody that has, followers to somebody that has a cult-like. Don't actually create a cult, right? But a cult-like following. That's number one. The second is you have to take a stand. Number two is to take a stand. Put that in the comments. Take a stand. Write this down. take a stand. You've got to take a stand against something. If you want to go from ignored and conventional, you've got to step up, and this is how you gain attention. You want to take a stand for something. Like, what can you take a stand for right now? Think about it. What do you stand for? And what do you stand against? Right? Like me, I stand against all of these gurus teaching people to freaking hustle, wake up at 4 a.m., spend 2-3 hours into DMs hustling for leads all the time. I stand for learning how to effectively communicate your message, like learning how to create a movement, learning how to attract people into your world, much like I'm teaching right here in this video. Like, I stand for this, and I'm gonna stand. Like, you could feel my passion. When you're going live, people should feel that from you. Do you stand against all of these diet companies, right? If you're in the weight loss space, do you stand against dieters? Like, what do you stand against? What do you stand for? The second way you become a micro celebrity is to take a stand, okay? And stand in your opinion with conviction, absolute conviction. And I'm going to give you a little blueprint at the end of this, by the way, on how I've done research. I've broken this down over the past decade of the biggest brands in the industry, right? From like Nike to Marvel to Apple to the biggest celebrities, right? From people like The Rock to the biggest influencers, right? People like Gary Vee, Tony Robbins. And there's a formula for this, okay? The third thing that you want to do is polarize your people. Polarize your people. It's us versus them. There's no in between. It's us versus them, right? In my case, we are in-demand coaches. Like, if you're in my world, you are an in-demand coach. An in-demand coach does things differently, right? We're not chasing leads. We're not hustling into DMs. We're not chasing shiny objects. We're not chasing the money. In-demand coaches know that when they focus on developing the skills of effective communication, of creating demand, that we're going to create impact, and that impact produces money, right? This is what an in-demand coach does. It's us versus them, right? It's us versus them. What is your us versus them? How can you stand up and really polarize your people? Help them move from wherever they are now, whatever they're stuck in, the mistakes they're making, the actions they're taking. How can you polarize that and move them into what you truly believe? Okay, this is the us versus them mentality, and it's absolutely crucial for you to have a lot of success with, again, going from ignored and unseen to attention and having raving super fans. The fourth is amplify your authenticity. Amplify your authenticity. Who remembers? Raise your hand. Drop in the comment section if you're on the live or replay. Do you remember the movie The Mask with Jim Carrey? Who here remembers that movie, The Mask with Jim Carrey? Remember when he puts on the mask, he becomes this insane version of himself, but it's like amplified of who he really is on the inside, right? When he is on the outside of the mask, he's kind of miserable. He doesn't like his job. He's like, that's the real mask he's wearing, right? And so you don't have to put on a mask or take off a mask. You might have to take off a mask if you're like afraid of being judged and stuff right now, right? You might have to take off a mask. I don't know. But like, he amplified who he already was inside. That's what you've got to do. You got to amplify what's already inside of you. Like, when I turn on this live button, I am just an amplified version of who I already am. I'm bringing out what's inside of me. Okay? Number 5 to becoming this micro influencer is you have to be very, very clear with what you say, and you got to be loud with it. You've got to project it. You got to be loud. The first thing is you got to be clear. Like, there's way too much noise on social media. The last thing we want to do is just go be loud. Like, because it's like there's already enough noise, but we want to be clear with what we are saying, with our opinions, then be loud with it. Does this make sense? And so I'm going to cover these 5 steps really quickly, recap, and I want to give you this little blueprint. It'll be helpful. I want to give you this little blueprint. I've become obsessed with this work of like really helping people become this in-demand coach, right? Like, that's literally the entire purpose of our actual programs, to help people become in demand. So become obsessed with it, of like really seeing, like, and again, this is coming from me living this experience. Like, I have done the chasing in the DMs. I have worked 16-hour days in front of my laptop. I have done all of this stuff, right? I've done these things. I've listened to these gurus. I've literally done every steps these people have had me take. It freaking, like, I was even doing at one point in my fitness business $30,000 per month, which is pretty decent, but I was miserable. I felt like a boiler room, right? I didn't feel like a coach, right? I felt like I was always selling. I was always in the DMs. I was always doing these things, right? It doesn't have to be that way. And so here's what I want you to think, right? I'm gonna give you this blueprint, but let's go ahead and recap. The first thing, to go from like conventional, which is what most people are doing, they're following scripts and templates in their videos, in their posts, in the DMs. It's like, hey, do you want this script? No, you don't need another damn script. That's just gonna keep you more ignored and blended in. Okay, you need to speak your freaking message. Speak you. Right, so to go from that ignored to going into gaining attention, first starts with really having an opinion and standing in conviction with that opinion. The second, and that's like the basis of here. The first thing that we have to do to really do that is build an audience. And how we do that is, again, we're focusing not on the followers, we're focusing on, I can't remember the name of the book, but it was like 1,000 True Fans, I think was the name of the book. It's pretty much what I'm talking about here, right? We want to have that cult-like following. Like, if you look at, what's that band? Kiss with Gene Simmons. You guys know the band? Gene Simmons, Kiss. He's an insanely good marketer, right? And when he was creating the band, he was looking around at the current marketplace, like all of the other musicians. And at the time, they were all heroes. It was all like the whole scene was like they were heroes. And so he decided to create his band to be villains, right? They were the villains, and they were the first to really do that, at least more publicly. And they took off, right? So he created something that he saw in the marketplace that needed to be said. So I want you to look at your marketplace. If you're in the weight loss space, like, look around. Don't just be a carbon copy of somebody. Like, look around at what your people need, what the market needs, right? This is something that I teach my students in the In-Demand Coach program. The second thing here is to take a stand. What do you stand against? What do you stand for? You've got to be very clear and convicted with that. The third is to polarize your people. It's us versus them, right? In this case, you're either an in-demand coach or you're going to be on the struggle bus and burn out, right? It's us versus them. Amplify your authenticity, just like Jim Carrey does all of the time. He does this very well, especially in the movie The Mask. Amplify what you're already, what's already inside of you. And number 5 is to be clear on what your opinion is, what you're saying, what your message is, and then be loud with it. Like, amplify that, portray that out to the audience. Okay. So hopefully this was mega helpful. And if you would like to see, like, I'm going to give you this blueprint. I'm going to like kind of go over the blueprint right now really quick for you, because I think it would be mega helpful for you. If you actually want the PDF of this, like, just shoot me a message and to say the word, I don't really have a word for this. You can just say the word fan PDF. Just say the word super fan PDF is what we'll call it. And it's pretty much just like a bunch of boxes. We'll have you fill out some information and stuff for your audience, and it'll help you just get more clear. But the first thing that you want to do, as we just alluded to, and you can write this down right now if you want to, is what do you stand against? We said that already. What do you stand for? And then what do you believe? This is how you're going to form your opinions. What do you believe? What do you believe? Like, if you had to write 10 commandments for your business that you would tell your clients, what would they be? Like, what are your commandments? Like, thou shalt not this. Thou shalt this, right? What are the mistakes that your audience is making? Like, what are they doing right now that you're gonna like really polarize? Okay, what is your truth? What's the thing that's gonna go against the grain? Right? What is your truth that's gonna go against the grain? And then what is your language? What are you saying? Like, if you pay attention to what I say, I'm saying things like communicate to create demand, communicate to convert. I use lingo like fast. You got to be focused, aligned with your action, speed of implementation, and that creates the T, which is traction, right? Like, what is your language? What lingo are you using? Okay, this is all what starts to create this, like, these super fans, right? If you look at somebody like Gary Vee, who's a pretty popular influencer in like the entrepreneurial space. Like he says things like all the time, like be you. He drops the F-bomb a lot, right? He says, jab, 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 right hook. He says, give. These people, they intentionally have their own language, right? So think about like what you already say. You just want to be intentional. Be like, holy crap, this is all kind of what creates that brand and what makes you that micro influencer. All right. There's a few more things in this blueprint. If you want to see the blueprint, just shoot me a message. Happy to send it over to you. But listen, I would love to know like what your biggest takeaway was from today. Like drop it below. I named 5 things. What was your biggest one that you're like, dude, I definitely need a little work there. I need to really explore it. Or we're all 5 kind of just like mind blowing. Because my friend, like, look, if you want to go from being scrolled by on social media to having people stop their scroll, pay attention to you, and really developing this kind of fan base, then these are some of the principles that have to be in place. Now, of course, I do have strategy. I do have tactics behind some of these principles inside the In-Demand Coach program. This is a program which is designed to help coaches get on anywhere from, and this is a very modest size audience. If you have like an audience typically we see like between 600 and 3,000. If you have an audience in there, this program is designed to help you get an additional 5 to 10 new clients every single month in your business using live video, and help you become that in-demand authority inside your niche. Like that's what we're really good at, those 2 things. And so if you're like, I would love to learn how to do this and really how to be the in-demand coach in my niche, in your market, and you want to explore what it looks like to get support and to get guidance from me personally inside of our program, then shoot me a message and just say the word clients. And what I'll do is we'll connect and set up a quick time to chat and see if and how I can help you do just that. So that's you. Shoot me that message to say the word clients, and we will connect and chat to see if we're a good fit. So anyways, y'all, remember this. Your message matters now more than it ever has before. Like your voice literally has the power to change a life today. Like not tomorrow, today. Like you can literally change a life today if you choose to do that. Like if you choose to speak what's on your true heart, if you choose to speak what you truly believe, like you really can help change a life. Like my goal every single time I go live, just so you guys know, like my mindset, I've been doing this for a while. My mindset is like, if I help one person, like who's on here? Like Marie, what's up, Marie? What's up, Carlos? I see a few people on here. Like Marie, if I help you, and I know you just joined. We're actually gonna have a call today. Like if I help you today, right now, in this message, and it helps you help just a few more people in your business, imagine the ripple effect. And then the people that you just help now, your words just help somebody, you now could change a whole family, right? And especially if they end up joining your program. Now you could change a whole family, potentially, maybe even some generations, right? Because now, like, if you're helping, say, a mom, and she teaches her kid, and then her kids now develop better habits because you've helped somebody. Like, think about the transformation that can happen all from your voice. All because you chose to stop being afraid of being judged, and you step up and you speak exactly who it is you are, what it is you want to speak. So many times, man, and yeah, I know I'm digressing a little bit and going on a little bit of a rant, but it's okay. Like people need you. Like, yeah, sure, the money's great. Like the money's fantastic that you can make from this stuff, for sure. But think about the lives that can be changed, the impact that can be put out there in the world just from you speaking, right? That's what I go into everything doing, knowing that every time that I speak, my intention is to change one person, is to help you. And damn it, like even if you're not a client of mine, if my words, if my content can help you get one more client or learn how to speak a little bit better on camera, like I know that that's gonna put out this massive chain effect of transformation in the world, and that's what comes back to you. So right now, if you're feeling like you're chasing leads, you're chasing money and all that stuff, just like my suggestion for you is to like switch your advice, like switch your frame on that, and know that your word, like you got to be the cause, right? You're putting stuff out there, you're helping one person, And like, you've just got to trust, whether you believe in God, whether you believe in the universe, you got to trust and have faith that when you help that person, you are putting this ripple effect out there. And when you're the cause, the effect happens. I'm gonna say this really, really, really slowly. This changed my life. When you focus on the effect, aka when you're focused on money, when you're focused on chasing leads, when you're focused on all these things, you are at the whim of somebody else's cause. Somebody else is gonna say no to you. You become the effect of somebody else's cause. But when you are the cause, when you have the right intention, it all comes from intention, right? From your vibration, from your thoughts. When your intention is to get out there and change one person's life today, and you go out there and you do it, you go and speak it, you help people, you now become the cause and you produce your own effects. Like, guys, I would love to teach you all of the secrets that I have. This is probably the number one secret. It's a little woo-woo, and I don't care. This is just who I am. I'm like a nice blend between woo-woo and like, let's get the freaking work. Like, I'm a nice blend of like that. It's like the intention that you put out there is what produces the money. I used to chase, I used to hustle, I used to work all freaking day. I used to miss my daughter's when, she's 5, and I used to miss bedtime because I was working so late. And now I don't. Now I have freedom. And I only say this because I want you to have the same thing. And it's not from working harder. It's not from working more. It's from learning how to effectively communicate. It's from learning and from really putting the right intention out there. And when you can do this, my friend, I'm telling you, you can create a movement. You can accomplish more than you ever thought possible. You can grow the business that you dream of. You can change a lot of lives. You could turn your message into a revenue generating movement. But it starts with you. It starts with your intention. And if you would like some help, if you want to become an in-demand coach, then I want you to shoot me a message right now. Don't wait. Don't delay. Shoot me a message and say the word roadmap. Listen, at the end of the day, we're all gonna die at some point. Hopefully a lot longer. Hopefully very, very long in the future. But nonetheless, we have a very short time on this earth. Are you using your time to change lives? Are you using time, or what are you doing with it, right? So really think about that. Like, don't wait. Don't delay things. The world, people, they're counting on you to lead by example, to step up, to become this micro influencer, to really lead, to move. So if I can support you, or if you want to see what it looks like for me to support you, shoot me that message right now. Okay, my friend. Again, if you're not subscribed to my podcast, make sure you go to your favorite podcast app and find the School of Impact podcast. Make sure you subscribe so you get notified whenever I drop new episodes. And if you find value in what I'm sharing and you feel like it's deserving of it, leave that 5-star rating and review. I would really, really appreciate you. We're putting a lot more time and attention into our podcast, so I would greatly appreciate you if you're finding value in what I'm putting out to go leave that 5-star rating, leave that review, share the podcast out, and I would greatly appreciate you. All right, my friend. So with that being said, your message matters. Have faith, stay focused, and take aligned action.